Dear students, this is second lecture for DC to DC converter. During last lecture, we started with the unit, gone through the syllabus and seen some basics of DC to DC converters. What we discussed in last lecture was syllabus, these basics, how to realize a DC to DC converter using passive and active devices, what is duty cycle, how to form a step down chopper using LC filter for removing the ripples. Formulas for duty cycle: D is equal to T on by T. Simplified realization for RLE load and waveforms for inductor and capacitor currents. And analysis of a buck converter in position 1 and 2 means during on switch and off switch periods. Now let us analyze it for both the intervals, during switch closed and during switch open. If I am considering closed switch, my equivalent circuit for the realization comes to Vs, VL, IC, means this is LC filter part and the load. So inductor voltage VL is Vs, which is the source voltage, minus V of T, which is the instantaneous voltage at the load side. So my inductor voltage keeps on rising during the closed switch period. So if I want to approximate the ripples, VL, which can be approximated to Vs minus V, capital V, over here across this. So as I know the inductor voltage VL of T at a given point of time is defined as or is equated to L di by dt. This is standard formula for voltage across the inductor. If I want to find out the slope of this, then it can be di by dt, means dil by dt. In short, VL of T by T. But VL of T is Vg minus V. Vg minus V of T, which is approximated by neglecting the ripple as Vs minus V. So Vg minus V is slope of this inductor current. Means inductor current is constantly rising with a constant slope after neglecting the ripple content. Same is for the open switch, but now the source is disconnected. So now it's time when inductor release its energy stored during the on period of a switch. So the circuit comes like loop 1 and loop 2. This loop is open. So this point is a highest potential point. So this current flows like IC through inductor and a load. So the entire energy stored by the inductor is to be dissipated across the load. But if switch is turned on before again, means switch is closed, then inductor will start storing energy and inductor current will not decay to 0. So the inductor voltage is now minus V of T because this polarity is changed. So ripple approximation will be naturally minus of V. So knowing this inductor current, I can find out voltage across the inductor like L di by dt, and the slope will be negative minus V by L. Why? Because the inductor current is falling now. Inductor current is decaying towards the in a negative direction towards 0, but may or may not reach to 0, which is dependent on the off time of a particular switch. So how to control the on and off time and a buck converter in an overall sense is to add a feedback. Now we are going through the complete circuit of a buck converter, a practical buck converter, which you can build directly on board. So the source, the dotted portion, this block is actually a power circuit or A switching converter consists of a MOS, a LC filter, freewheeling diode. In all power electronic circuits, we do have a power circuit and a control circuit. This part, which is on right hand side and at bottom up to this, is a control circuit. And this part is a load. Means four essential components of any power circuit are source, load, power circuit, and a control circuit. So if we go in detail of this switch can be open and closed as we know it now. So this load current is sensed, means a feedback is taken using either a shunt arrangement, or you can have any type of a current sensor, including pulse sensor if required. So this sensor has some gain. A reference potential in order to control the duty cycle is fixed, which can be derived from any low voltage source. So this error signal is generated, which is amplified further, and the pulse width of the gate drive for this MOSFET is modulated, which gives a gate drive and the switch is turned on, or which removes the gate drive and the switch is turned off. So this circuit controls the on and off of a switching converter or a MOSFET. So this part is completely a control circuit. Then what are the parts? A reference supply has to be built separately, a sensor arrangement, error amplifier, and pulse width modulator, which gives a delta amplitude, a small amplitude pulse. During this means pulses are generated, a pulse train is generated instead of a constant voltage for this period. And during this period, no pulses are generated. Here again, pulse train is generated. And this pulse train is switching on and off the MOSFET. And why we are using MOSFET? Because we are switching this converter at a rate of 40 kilohertz and above, as we discussed with. So how the output voltage varies? So the actual output voltage of the waveform V of t is V plus ripple voltage, so we neglected in a simplistic realization. So if this is V average voltage and this is the actual voltage, see this is rising voltage at peak and this is falling, again rising, means this can be your on period, first one, this can be off period, and again from this point onwards you can have a on period, means cycle is repeated. So for well designed converters, output voltage ripple means this to this and this portion is very small. But when this portion has to be very small, we can ignore the ripple, but it reduces the it increases the switching frequency in this context, and which generates some switching noise also. So V ripple has to be very less than the output voltage V, and V ripple can be positive or negative. So modulus of it, mod of V ripple is very less than V. So V of t, which is a ripple voltage, this has to be smaller. Ripple voltage V of R has to be very smaller. So V of t is approximated to average output voltage. The major role is played by the inductor. So ripple magnitude of the inductor current, because the inductor current rise and decay decides whether it's a continuous current converter or a discontinuous current converter. So this is my inductor current, which is rising during on period, falling during off period with these slopes Vg minus V by L and minus V by L, which is already discussed. So change in IL means delta IL is Vg minus V by L into duty cycle into Ts, which is the switching frequency. So delta IL is Vg minus V by twice of L into dTs. D is duty cycle into switching frequency. It necessitates the value of L has to be equal to Vg minus V, means minimum voltage required at output, maximum source voltage divided by change allowed in the inductor current multiplied by duty cycle into Ts. You know, Ts is in kilohertz, D is in fraction. So this will go in thousands. This is in volts. This is in milliamperes. So value of inductor will turn to the increase. So delta L is a change in inductor current and L gives the value of inductor to be used. This is a design parameter, or we can say even figure of merit for the good design of a buck or a boost converter. So how to get output voltage based on the volt second balance, means for one switching cycle. Inductor voltage waveform in an idealistic manner during on period and off period. So if I take an integral from 0 to Ts for the inductor voltage, which comes to Vg minus V during on period and minus V during off period, multiplied by D into Ts every time, so that I can get the integration for a complete cycle. That gives me average voltage lambda by Ts, because I want to find out for a one cycle. D into Vg minus V plus D dash. D dash is defined as 1 minus D, because D can be maximum 1 and D plus D dash can also be maximum 1, because on period plus off period has to be completed within a single cycle. So D plus D dash is 1. So D dash is 1 minus D into. So total average voltage is lambda by Ts, D into Vg minus V during on period plus during off period D dash minus V. So equate this to 0. Why? Because average voltage across the inductor during a switching cycle has to be 0. So 0 is inductor voltage is equated to 0. So D into Vg plus minus D plus D dash means this is 1, means D minus Vg minus V. So D minus Vg minus V. In short, V is equal to D into Vg, and hence it is proved that V, average voltage, is directly proportional to duty cycle of the circuit. So higher the duty cycle, higher the average voltage. Lower the duty cycle, lower the average voltage. And this decides whether it will be a continuous or a discontinuous current operation. As well, this decides the level of output voltage to the input. This is all about buck converter, but rather we were trying to define a principle of operation of any converter which is used for DC to DC. So we had gone in details. Same is applied for all the converters, whether it is buck, whether it is boost, or whether it is buck or boost converter. See, a buck converter, just note these switch positions. You can understand why these are called and why they are working like this. So for buck converter, V0 is always less than Vs. So it is called as buck. Buck means step down. And it is proportional to duty cycle. Boost converter, V0 is greater than Vs. This is quite interesting to see that my input voltage is less, output voltage will be higher. Then how we get this rest of the voltage, which is beyond the source voltage. And a buck boost, a same converter can work as buck converter sometimes, boost converter sometimes. Naturally, who is playing the role? Duty cycle. As duty cycles determines whether it is a buck converter at the moment or a boost converter. So buck boost converter, which is typically 2-quadrant chopper. Buck and boost individually are 1-quadrant choppers, because buck converter operates in first quadrant, boost operates in second quadrant. buck boost operate in a first and second quadrant. So let us start with the boost converter. Same principle. Only things to note are position of the switch. See Vs, the source voltage, inductor current flowing through. Now switch is after inductor and followed by a capacitor and a load. So in position 1, when switch is in position 1, naturally inductor is storing the energy because all energy in the source is delivered to the inductor only, and it stores the energy. Inductor current will keep on rising. Capacitor and resistor form the another loop. But as switch is disconnected, these two are independent loops. So when switch is closed, now switch is in position 2, means on period typically. Inductor is storing energy because there is no change in this path. Additionally, capacitor is getting charged and this load is supplied by the source. Means during this period, load is supplied by the source. During this period, load was supplied by the discharge of the capacitor also. Means load was always supplied either through source or through the other elements. So how it works? Basically, this is mode 1, where we can see inductor voltage VL is equal to VG and IC is equal to V by R. So ripple approximation, VL as to VG and IC is minus V by R because it is a decaying current now, because source is not connected. What is connected is the only capacitor connected to the source. In mode 2, when source is connected to the load, so VR is equal to VG minus V, where VG is the generator voltage and IC is IL minus V by R. So if I approximate for the small ripples, VL is equal to VG minus V and IC is equal to I minus V by R. So this is inductor current waveform as in buck converter also. And for the capacitor current, capacitor voltage, can see it was minus V by R when inductor current was positive, but capacitor current was negative. When inductor current is negative, capacitor voltage is rising, means capacitor is getting charged during this period. When switch is on, capacitor is getting charged and inductor current is in negative because it's Vg minus phi during the time. So the simplified boost chopper can be seen as VL D by D. It's a forward bias diode when this switch is open. This is filter capacitor and the load current. So you can see the waveforms for Vs, source voltage, inductor current rising when switch source voltage is switch is closed, and inductor current is rising because this is one loop. Switch current naturally rise up to the point switch is on, whereas capacitor current, as switch is closed, maximum current will flow through this circuit, and so current is minus I0 in this circuit because it is getting discharged. During the off period, when switch is open, this source is feeding to the load through this diode. The capacitor is getting charged and a load voltage V0 is in this direction shown. So what mathematics I get out of it? Vs into dt is V0 minus Vs into 1 minus d, means 1 minus d is typically off period. This is my formula for output voltage. Then ratio of output to input is V0 by Vs is 1 divided by 1 minus D. This gives us a clear hint. If 1 divided by 1 minus D is higher, my output voltage will be naturally higher. Means 1 divided by, if D is 0.5, then 1 by 0.5 is 2, means output to input ratio is 2. If D is 0.2, then it will be 0.8, 1 by 0.8. And suppose if my D is 1 minus 0.9, suppose D is 0.9, highest point, duty cycle, then what will happen? This is simply 0.1. So 1 by 0.1 is 10. So it will boost 10 times. But a heavy inductor is required in this case to sustain and supply the continuous current to the load as well as storing energy during the switch on period. So value of inductor required is 1 minus D square into D into R by twice of switching frequency. And minimum value of C required is D duty cycle into V0, the output voltage, divided by V into R into switching frequency. These are important formulas for step-up chopper or a boost converter which operates in the second quarter. So let us calculate the output voltage by integrating for one switching cycle. Inductor is alpha source in this case that need to be remembered very well. So integrating it for a cycle Vg into D into Ts switch on period, switch off period Vg minus V, D dash. So this is off period. Equate this to 0 because inductor voltage has to be 0 over the cycle. So Vg into D plus D dash means 1 in short. Vg minus V by D dash. So let us solve this for V. V is Vg by D dash, not D, remember. So the voltage conversion ratio is 1 divided by 1 minus D. This is how typically a boost converter works. And if you see the ratio, as duty cycle increases, the voltage conversion ratio increases. It is from 1 because boost converter for minimum duty cycle ratio is 1, and for maximum duty cycle towards 0.8 or 0.9 it goes 5 times, or even it can go more than that. Let us check for the capacitor. Capacitor voltage during interval 1 means what? During switch off period. And capacitor voltage during interval 2 means switch on period. During interval 1, it is minus V by RC as we had seen in the circuit because it was getting discharged. During interval 2, it was getting charged. So it is I by C minus V by RC. See, during the first period, this voltage is getting